Yo, what it do? It's Nico Klein on the Sit Down with Mark's podcast. You're listening to AJ, DB, and Primo.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Come on in. Sit down. Episode number 137 of the Sit Down Mars podcast. It's your boy DB, and today I am with HB. That's right. The Harris brothers have returned. What's going on, fellas? Good to have y'all back, man. Good to see y'all. How's life?
HB. That's our new tag team.
That's what we're going by. Good. I'm happy to be back. I don't even know how long it's been since I've been able to actually hop on here and talk wrestling with you fuckers. But
it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Michael's been here it's been a minute since you've been here.
God,
so
I hate my life.
I've had to rant about AEW to my cat. It doesn't understand what's going on. Neither do I. We're both confused. I don't know.
Address your masses, AJ. I've promised you on this podcast quite a few times, and you know.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you know.
Hello, masses. This is the kind of stuff you've been missing. These last few months. Hello, masses. Just random noises, and I don't even know what's happening.
Ratings gold is what's happening.
Right. That's the content these people have been craving. Man.
Where's my check?
It's got to go to a new deck.
All right. So
I
obviously,
didn't fall through a deck.
Somebody power bombed himself through his deck.
Obviously, Primo not here to join us today, but
what the fuck? Where's
he'll
that
be back
asshole?
on the next pod. Yeah, very rarely that Primo's busy if he's not on a podcast. So.
Yeah, I know. He has like things that are important to him in his life apart from us, which
he's sitting out on a grassy soccer field right now with like probably 40-mile-an-hour wind watching soccer. So
they call it football.
Football, they do.
And it's a pitch, not a field, you ignorant swine.
This is true. It's true. All right, so we've gathered here today to speak on two wrestling pay-per-views that have been here lately. First, WWE Bad Blood and AEW Wrestledream. It just happened just a few days ago as we record this. But before we get into that, man, I want to thank everybody listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all those podcast platforms out there, and also SportzWire Radio. And I want to also, while we're talking about SportzWire Radio, congratulate them on reaching 1,000 subscribers, boys.
Wait, how many what did we do? Are we awesome?
1,000 subscribers is SportzWire Radio just passed them, so it's a pretty big deal. So congratulations. We'll be sending in a formal video later to congratulate them. We want to thank everybody listening, though, out there on SportzWire Radio. So got a couple notes, boys, before we get to the pay-per-view notes as we do. So what do you guys think about Shelton Benjamin showing up in AEW? Does he seem like a decent fit there, or
no? I think that he's just going to fuck around. I don't know. Like Shelton Benjamin, even though he's like 50, can still like do all kinds of stuff. Like he's still good. He can still work, and like he'll be a perfectly fine, I don't know, mid-card putting over the young guys kind of deal. Which is great. Like it's fine. Good for you, Shelton. I guess. That's a really weird name for a hyper athletic badass like him, Shelton. That's weird. I wish him the best.
Well, he is the gold standard.
True.
According to him,
AEW continues its long trend of bringing in ex-WWE guys and presenting them that way. So what they're going to do is it'll be exciting for 2 weeks, then they're going to completely forget that he's there. And
that
then they'll go hang out with Adam Copeland.
Yeah.
And that is what's going to happen.
That makes me sad.
And plus, like it kind of feels like they're kind of teasing this little what they call the Hurt Factory, the Hurt Business. They're kind of like teasing this little Hurt Business 2.0. Speaking of AEW, the Warner Brothers just renewed AEW, TBS, and TNT contracts for AEW to be on all networks, and Max is going to be carrying their pay-per-views coming up. So it looks like they're off Bleacher Report, which I got a Bleacher Report email wasn't long ago, and it said, our records indicate that you have purchased a pay-per-view before, and and so that I guess they keep them a little library there, and so it looks like they're getting out of the pay-per-view wrestling business. So they're moving to Max.
I am excited about that.
And supposedly it's supposed to be at a discounted rate if you're a subscriber for Max, and then you can still get it if you're not, apparently. But I'm assuming you're still going to have to get an account to sign in. So you like it going to these streaming services? Like, where we are and stuff? Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, I do. Especially something going to Max, which it just means that I can finally use my fucking Max account for more than like Rick and Morty reruns and
right,
John Oliver. Like, it's John Oliver and Rick and Morty. This is the only reason why I ever turn on Max. So it'll be nice to actually use it for something else.
Right.
I don't even like Rick and Morty that much. It's just I'm like, I just have to do something with fucking Max. Got to justify the $20 a month.
That's one of the more expensive ones, isn't it? Max, isn't it one of the more expensive per month streaming?
I honestly have no idea how much I pay for any of these streaming services.
I assume it's
yes,
it is. Speaking of streaming, Michael, have you checked out any of this Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix? Kind of got to talk about it because I just finished it about 2 days ago.
I haven't, and the reason is because I still have no more appetite for Vince McMahon content ever again. Like,
it wouldn't really teach you anything you didn't know already.
Yeah,
it just kind of puts a few things into it, and then once they start getting to the hairy shit at the end, they start giving you notes to saying, "Hey, this happened previously to these lawsuits, that he's dealing with." So, and then towards the end, when the shit was going down, I guess, it was like, Vince declined for the last few, because he talked through a lot of it. But I think the only thing I would say for people to watch it is the only reason why is to sit there and listen to Vince and watch him counter, like counteract everything he says. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he just goes back on just about every word, and it feels like, and it feels like to me, after watching this, like it seemed like in hearing him talk, it seemed like he used this character to be able to play out all these demons or fantasies or whatever the
perversions
fuck, I mean, obviously, it makes sense, right? But this like really solidified it for me. But I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, especially like we are, this documentary ain't gonna show you anything you don't already know. But there's a few people that talk on it. So
I was disappointed
brother,
in it because like, I didn't expect it to like delve deeper in the shit that we've already like heard about, read about, and seen on like, Dark Side of the Ring and that kind of shit. But I expected something more than what was presented. And the only thing that I took away from it is that I don't think there is a real difference between the character of Mr. McMahon and Vince McMahon as like an actual human being. I think they're very. I like what you said about how he used that character to kind of play out his, proclivities or whatever. That's a very polite word for the things he did. But it didn't do enough. Like, it didn't go. Like, it could have like knocked it out of the park with the shit that has gone on under his regime, but they didn't. They were just like, yeah, it sucked. Moving on. Here's Bret Hart.
Well, the real problem with like a lot of wrestling documentaries and content is that the people that are inclined to watch them, like us, are inclined to watch other wrestling documentaries and shows and podcasts and the weeklies. So we're not going to learn anything new from this stuff. So that's what's really interesting about how they kind of have this weird situation where they have to appeal to wrestling fans, but wrestling fans already know all the stuff that they're talking about because we're obsessive weirdos. And so
sickos.
Yeah, we're sick fucks. Right. And that's what we do. We watch oily, big, meaty men slapping meat.
Meaty men slapping meat. Oh, I miss Big E.
And we rate it and talk about how good or bad it is. Like,
how good was their meat slapping technique?
How big were those meaty men getting slapped with man meat?
So it looks like we were all set to see the Lucha Brothers in WWE until Tony decided to extend Phoenix's contract, allegedly.
Why?
Due to injury time off. He was added to his apparently, so it's maybe a little while before we actually see them in there.
That's the actual reason why.
That's what I heard because I mean obviously he couldn't extend his contract without signing it first, so must be some little clause in there. And for everything I've seen, it said it was for injury time off because I mean he's missed a lot of time for so something like that. So that's going to be on hold for a little while, but because I think they were wanting to use them because the NXT was going to be touring, so they was going to use them and to help with the tour to get some names that people already know there and stuff. So.
That's not going to create any goodwill. They're basically forcing. They're like Tony Khan is like, "Hey, asshole, get the fuck back in here!" Like you're being forced to. Like that's not great.
Well, also you're not just picking a fight with Rey Fenix at that point. You're picking a fight with the WWE. Like this is why that phrase "fuck around and find out" exists. You're fucking around with the WWE. They have a lot more power and money than Tony Khan does.
Yep. All right, two more before we get here to Bad Blood. You guys loving Bryan Danielson's string of matches the last couple? Like I want to say, because each time it seems like we've had a little more. We've seen him now against Nigel, Okada. We'll talk about him against Moxley here, which allegedly is, I mean, does this feel like? I mean, it does to me. Does it feel like the final tour to you guys? Like, yeah, right.
I think he's checking off all his boxes, all his dream matches, and I look forward because I think that he will have at least one or two more matches in WWE just to check him off. I mean, he's established so much goodwill. I think that he could just be like, "Hey, I'm going to go wrestle for WWE," and I don't think anyone can stop him.
And he get Hall of Fame that way.
Yeah. I can totally see him wrestling, AJ Styles again, or fucking CM Punk. Like I can.
Or the American Dragon versus the American Nightmare.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. Come on back to WMB and finish up, and then we put you in Hall of Fame, and he can be properly statued, so to speak.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but overall, yes, I am 100% on board with everything that's going on. That's like the one thing I am completely on board with AEW. What's happening right now is everything with Bryan Danielson because he's a national treasure and he can do as he fucking pleases at this point.
Sure. Last thing here before we get to Bad Blood, just wanted to bring in another note to reiterate me and Michael, and I'm sure you guys agree how we need to keep these celebrity, singers, superstars, whatever they want to call them out of WWE because they recently had Hardy on SmackDown. I don't know if you guys seen this.
What the fuck is a Hardy? Like, I don't know what that is.
It's about as fat as a jelly roll. About as fat as a jelly roll.
So his only fucking job was to announce AJ Styles, the returning AJ Styles, right? Like, so he introduces him as the phenomenal forearm.
The phenomenal forearm. He's not a fucking body part, you potato. Like, what are you doing? Who the fuck are you? First of all, why does WWE insist on getting like C-list superstars or C-list like celebrities to go out there and be the phenomenal forearm?
Like, what
are you doing?
The phenomenal AJ Styles. Please, however you want to do, but the final thing you need to say, whoever guy with the headphones talking to Hardy, you say the phenomenal AJ Styles, and then you get the phenomenal forearm because nobody's called him that since, so it's not a new one.
It's 8 syllables. Like, how do you fuck it up? You're not nervous. You are in front of crowds apparently every day of your life.
Oh,
How do you fuck that up?
I kid you not, man. I think I was like reading a magazine and like kind of watching SmackDown too, and I just like threw that thing up in the air. I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah,
I'm turning this because they're probably going to show this fucker again, and I don't want to see this fuck anymore. Like you know what I mean? So I'll just wait till I can fast forward this shit, right? Like I'm not watching this dude, man. Like I ain't getting me no more. Nope.
Jelly Roll would have been a way better choice, by the way.
Nope.
Oh, don't get him started on Jelly Roll.
No.
I'm just saying. Oh, by the way, I meant to bring this up really quick. Like I also dislike Jelly Roll's music, and I think I met Jelly Roll. Mm-hmm. He is a lovely human. Just gonna throw that out there.
Right. Well, I mean, if you heard the pod, I said, you know, it's nothing against him. You know,
it sounded pretty personal.
No, nothing against personally. Like he just don't need to be in wrestling, and like I'm not his target audience. Like it's not me. Like I'm not.
I mean, your southern accent would suggest otherwise. There
would say otherwise, but I've been a Midwesterner for like 11 years now. I think.
How is your ranch stock in the fridge right now, Dirty? Is it stocked with ranch?
It's about a ball and a half, probably.
Okay, you're a Midwesterner then.
Yeah.
You're one of our.
I got the backup so I don't run out, huh?
Well, yeah.
Okay. That's a very Midwestern thing.
Yeah, and I live with a true Midwesterner too. So
yes.
Yeah.
I don't have any ranch, but I do the whole. Oh, excuse me, like the little before it. I do that. Oh, excuse me. Always, and I catch myself, and then I giggle to myself, but I still do it every time.
Right. You know what my favorite Midwestern thing is, though?
What?
Is when you guys drive, especially like out on country roads. You know, if you guys are like, if you're in like the right lane and there's a car behind you, and you're turning left, you'll just go ahead and get over in that left lane and let the other car go by before you even turn left. And it's like a little courtesy going by, so you don't have to stop and let them turn and then get back up to speed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do they not do that?
I love that shit. Oh,
they don't
absolutely
do that in North Carolina?
Nowhere else in the world that I know of that I've ever been. Yeah. When we moved here, I'm like, what is this?
What is this?
I thought they were like mad at me the first time. I'm like, oh, they're like laying back. Like I'd started ducking, man, when I was going by because I didn't know they were like did I piss them off? Like, why are they laying back? Like, and I didn't know,
nice.
So I just, I went on by and then talking to my wife now, after that, she's like, oh yeah, it's a total Midwestern thing, especially out in the country. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
that's awesome.
I bet they say that when they let you pass up.
I bet they do.
Oh, by the way, real quick, every time I turn on Hulu now, I got to see Gerald's fucking ass looking at me every single goddamn time. Just staring at me.
I mean, I am not against him taking over, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I won't listen or probably watch anything he's on, but like just keep him out of wrestling, man. Like we don't need to be doing that.
Just a long-haired son of
to me, man, it's whenever one person is just everywhere you fucking look. I don't care who it is. I immediately just start to dislike that person.
Well, he's a large person, so chances are he's going to be more places to look than your normal human.
And like you said, he's probably a lovely person.
He is.
Like I don't need to fucking see him every day. Like
he was absolutely lovely.
Jesus, like I see
very
Jelly
nice,
Roll more than I see you guys. Like
very courteous. Like he was. I was a fan of him. I'm still never going to listen to his music because he sucks. But
yeah,
as a person, he gets the old two big smelly thumbs up.
Yep, I agree.
Yo, this is Slammer, and you're listening to Primo, DB, and AJ at the Sit Down Marks. And what you gonna do when Slammer Mania runs wild on you, brother?
All right, boys, let's get to WWE Bad Blood 2024 from Atlanta, Georgia. 16,902 marks on him. Which I thought was pretty awesome, man. I figured they were probably either going to have to start the show with the Hell in a Cell or end it with the Hell in a Cell, and I kind of this made sense. But we're in Cody's hometown. Braun Breaker's from that area, so big wrestling area in Atlanta. So this one kind of felt like a pretty elevated pay-per-view for the stakes that was happening. So of course Drew and Punk kicked the show off. Hell in a Cell, supposedly the big blow off between these guys. It's been a fight for a while, but this was so good, man. Like I loved it, man. Awesome. I thought it was up there with Hell in a Cell matches that I've ever seen. Nothing will ever pass Taker and Mankind, but this was up there, man. Like I enjoyed it. Like we had blood, a lot of back and forth, like piss off each other. Probably the thing I didn't like was the dumb beads. They had to bring this fucking bracelet back into the fold at the end, which I get it, but let's just what I mean. I think Drew poured a bag of beads over
friend beads
Punk's hand, but this I thought this match definitely delivered. I thought the toolbox spot was pretty awesome, and I think delivered a pretty nice shot to Drew. And then the other part, I think Punk picked up a bunch of beads, didn't he, and shoved them in Drew's mouth, I think, there towards the end. Then he gets the GTS to win, but he had like the chain like around his knee. But this had me into it. But as soon as it was over, I looked over and it was like 47-minute opener. So I was like, but man, it was good, man. I thought it was great. What do you think, Michael?
I'm a big fan of CM Punk, Andrew McIntyre, and I hope Primo is listening to this right now because
he is. He just said heck in the sec.
He will.
Did he? But great opener. Punk is great. So is Drew. Again, keep the fucking beads out of it. They did something too that I like when they're actually doing like a Hell in a Cell or something. Like when they're pulling out foreign objects that would be around a wrestling ring.
Mm-hmm.
A toolbox would be there.
Absolutely.
A kendo stick would not be there.
A bag of friendship beads would be.
A bag of friendship beads.
Ask DB. Like we have been on the indie scene for quite a while now, and there's always at least one bag of friendship beads.
Well, I mean,
somewhere around the ring. It's just there.
There is. I always like to look and just see where they put them each show.
Yeah,
it's
okay,
interesting.
Who's gonna be friends tonight?
Right.
It's like an I Spy. Just up there they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like it's like the Where's Waldo of the wrestling world.
Yeah,
where are the
was
friendship
good,
beads?
man. This was good. Yeah. Punk did really well here. And I'll be honest, man. This match too made me like, man, this was like for the first time, like watching a match with Punk in it back in WWE. I was like, man, I'm glad he's back. Like it feels right now. Like he's back home now. Like he's already had a big nasty feud, and yeah, man, we're back to the Punk that I remembered. That kind of dude. And I was like, yeah, he brings a lot to the table, man. He's making some money with him for sure.
Well, plus, like, he hasn't done anything to cause any controversy or piss anybody off. He's the exact opposite of what everyone, like every AEW fanboy was like, he's such a cancer. He'll get kicked out of the WWE. And it's like,
right.
Willie now. And then while that's going on, you have the other side of that equation from AEW, who's constantly still causing problems in AEW.
Right.
Almost like people who pay attention could have predicted such a thing when it happened.
Right. Feature forward here real quick before AJ talks about it. Are we seeing Seth going to kind of like help elevate Bronson Reed here for a while?
Oh,
I hope
please
not.
tell me after that. Then we're getting Punk Seth to run the Mania. Is that right?
God, I hope so.
Does that feel right?
God,
Okay,
I hope
good.
so.
I hope so. Me too.
Like I wish, like just to speak on that really quick, I wish they would have plugged in someone other than Bronson Reed because I honestly can't stand Bronson Reed. Like as a performer, I think he's so boring. He's the top dollar of big fellas. Which you think top dollar would be the top dollar of big fellas, but no, he's not.
He can't even be top dollar of big fella.
No, he's like second fiddle to top dollar in the top dollar sweepstakes.
The sweeps.
But I don't know what that means. Yeah, no, I just it's a filler feud, I hope, and then on to Punk and Seth, which I can't wait for.
Make Bronson look better here.
Yeah, Punk and Seth have got a main event, right? That's the plan.
At least one of the nights.
One of the nights. Yeah.
That way, Punk gets his main event Mania match that he's always wanted, and they're gonna put on a fucking classic too.
Oh man, yeah. Look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
So you enjoyed the Hell in a Cell, AJ?
So I don't know if I'm going to be hyperbolic here or not, but not only was I love this match, but not only was this my favorite Hell in a Cell that I've ever seen, this is my match of the year. So it was so good. I loved it so much. I love that there's blood. Like, I'm not the biggest, like bleeding guy kind of thing, but it was nice to see so much blood in WWE. Punk looked like Punk. Like he finally, because I agree with what you guys said. Like ever since he's been back, he's been battling nagging injuries. He looks, kind of blown up most of the time, but he looked fantastic here. Drew McIntyre, who I've always been kind of like, yeah, it's Drew. I like Drew, but he was fantastic here. Mm-hmm. This match was just great. The anal beads, like whatever. But
friendship anal beads.
Those are the friendliest of beads. But whatever. Like they're fine. I love this match so much. Like the fact that they did the whole you're gonna have to take 50 finishers before. I wish they would stop booking that way. But the fact that Punk finally put the chain around his knees, like okay, like this needs a super finisher now. Yeah,
I would love for wrestling as a whole to dial that back. Let's go back to making finishers more important. Let's go back to hitting them one time. You know what I mean? And let's get creative then instead of doing it a couple times in a row. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
like it. I don't know. Just feel like it. Kind of degrades it sometimes. But match 2 was Bayley versus Nia for the WWE Women's Championship. We had a Tiffy time tease cash in, but Nia ends up winning by Rikishi splash is what I call it. It's what it is. What it'll always be. So not much going on here. They keep teasing with Tiffany and with them kind of being friends or whatever, but kind of is what it is. But any thoughts on that one?
AJ, I'll let you go first on this.
So Nia Jax is still garbage, but and it pains me to say this, she has improved immensely.
I'll say the same. I'll give that to you too.
I cannot stand her booking. I can't stand how much she gets pushed. I can't stand the fact that she has a belt. I can't. But I will say she is. I'm not afraid, even though she did fuck up still a little bit. I'm not afraid that she's going to injure anyone immediately anymore. Mm-hmm. I think she might injure someone, 10, 15 minutes into a match or, towards the end of it, but not immediately. I think she can now do moves without hurting someone, which, that's a plus when you are a wrestler for the WWE. So,
right.
Yay, Nia Jax.
I don't know what the fuck you were watching, but every time she does anything, I'm shitting my pants. She's going to cripple somebody.
I mean, it's still there. Yeah.
It's still there. And
it's a little edgy, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a 0.2 starting out of 10 going up to a 0.4. Yeah, you doubled your fucking talent. Congratulations. You're still dog shit.
It's 100% improvement, Michael.
Like, she sucks on the mic. Her personality's garbage. She's got no ring presence. She can't do moves. She hurts people. Like, the only thing she has going for is she's related to The Rock. That is the only fucking thing is why she is there.
Yeah. And she's a big meaty man slapping meat.
I think probably they're doing pretty good with giving Tiffy her little sidekick right now, so they can kind of always kind of tease that a little bit. So kind of makes you pay attention a little bit. You know, I think it was Monday on Raw. Tiffany was there and she teased a little cash in on Liv, you know, because Liv and Nia are fighting each other at Crown Jewel. You know, they're doing that champ versus champ.
Oh
you
God,
know, on
that
Crown Jewel
belt.
Yeah, and
We'll
then
get to that.
yeah. So that one, and then she was like, "Don't you want to fight me in at Crown Jewel?" You know, and Nia's like, "I'll kill you in Crown Jewel" or something like that. So it was like making it all like, I don't know. So it's kind of making if there is any interest there right now, it's for that.
This is the exact storyline with her and Alexa Bliss. It's just the exact same thing, playing it out again. They have nothing for her because she's just not interesting. She's not a draw.
Right.
So
I mean, well, when you're as limited as Nia Jax is, you really kind of have to play out the hit. Well, I was going to say hits, but she doesn't have hits.
play out the
hit.
She gives plenty of hits. All right, don't worry.
She's still so awful. You're right, but I love Tiffany Stratton. So anytime that she can be doing things, awesome. Get her in there. Yeah. I think she is the future of the women's division.
See, I am totally fine with Tiffany Stratton.
I think she's so good.
I wish she was paired with somebody who could actually help guide her and like elevate her versus like, well, she's great because look at the fucking slob she's right next to. Like,
and something tells me too.
Look at the jelly roll that she's got.
Look at the jelly roll.
That's not a joke about, you know, someone's weight or anything. That's just the you also suck at music.
Wait, you're gonna go from she's a big meaty man slapping me to
that was a compliment.
I just got whiplash from me.
And you know too, they're gonna let Nia win that belt in Saudi Arabia because she'll be more annoying about winning it. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's move on, boys. Match number 3 of the night was Finn Balor. First of all, before we talk about the match, fuckers 43 looks fucking amazing. Still, like, just
he's my age.
Just I can respect I think, that, like at that age, man.
Sounds like 30 wants to get some big meaty men slapping meat going.
hey, all I'm saying, sign me up for some Finn Balor. I don't give a fuck.
I need like we all would look like Finn at 43, right? You know what I mean?
Like look at Finn Balor and look at me. Again, I'm 43 as well. If I had my shirt off, you'd be like, why can't you see ribs and fat at the same time? Like, how is that a thing? Like, what is going on?
Like the phenomenal forearm, personally.
Right. I love Finn Balor.
So Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. This is basically just a, you know, what we in the old school days like to call a grudge match. You know, they're still doing the fallout from Damian leaving Judgment Day and yada yada. But despite help from Judgment Day, Priest was able to get the win by choke slam to kind of further that own story a little bit longer. And then we got a Gunther Goldberg segment.
No.
So at first I was like, are we getting Gunther Goldberg because they're going to Saudi Arabia? Like, do they have a heart on for Goldberg? Like,
yes.
It seems
Saudi
like
Arabia?
It.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh no, we're gonna get that match, and then I seen they announced champion. I'm like, oh okay, cool. Let's
God.
They could always do it at one of the other ones, I guess, but they teased it for a reason, right? Like,
yep,
you know, yeah, they teased it for a reason. Like they got to go back to it at some point. I'm just like, oh god, I mean,
they're teasing for a reason.
Yeah. Let's talk about Rhea versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. With Dom suspended high in the air in a cage. Hadn't seen this old gimmick in a while. Kind of reminds me of the old Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express days when Cornette was hanging above the cage. And then,
is it still considered a shark cage?
That's what they called it, man. I mean, yeah. I guess
that's what it's just a cage.
That's what you go in the water because the shark can't get in there.
Yeah,
allegedly.
I think the last time I saw that gimmick in WWE was Chris Jericho was in the cage over over Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask because I was going to ask what you guys remember the last time they did that, but
Oh yeah, I remember
Chris Jericho.
specifically because I looked at AJ in that match and said, "Did that motherfucker just kick out a Nux?"
Nux, yep, because he did.
So
Like it wasn't even at like 2.9; it was at like 2.
Yeah,
Just kicked out. Wasn't even.
So Liv retained by disqualification when Raquel Rodriguez returned to attack Rhea while Rhea is whacking Dom with a kendo stick while he was hanging from the cage by a chain around his foot that I guess was attached to him, and all of a sudden he falls out of it, loses his balance. Like it was all weird acting and, finish. And Rhea, I know Rhea and Raquel have beef. I guess this is a way to, get back to that. But, I was wondering, you always wonder how they're going to get out of this, what they're going to do with the cage, right? Like, how does he get out? Somebody else get thrown in, or, what'd you guys think about this one?
I can promise you, I never wonder how they're going to get out of the cage.
I do. I wonder what idiot thought up of some way, like, to get him out.
The bars are always wide enough to just turn sideways.
You can just slide right through.
Always like a mile between the bars.
They're like cartoon. It's like a cartoon jail cell where it's like, why aren't you just walking out, Bugs Bunny, you fucking idiot? Anyways, or SpongeBob for you kids. I don't fucking know. Anyways, I'm 43.
You are one Finn Balor years old.
I am a Finn Balor. Wildly different aging processes. Anyways, like when I was watching this, I was like, is David Arquette going to come out? Is is Vince Russo going to crown himself the champion and say bro a lot? Like I hate super gimmicks, like gimmick matches, like that, where it's like, okay, it's so contrived. I get wrestling as a whole is contrived, like that's part of why it's so awesome, but stop shark cage. It's just a cage. It's only a shark cage if there's sharks around it, otherwise it's just a cage.
That is true.
It's all about context.
Whenever I see super gimmick matches, I think of two specific things: Judy Bagwell on a forklift, and Judy Bagwell on a forklift.
Yeah,
like
Judy Bagwell.
Like it's just we've not to use the shark analogy, we jumped the shark a long fucking time ago in the gimmick matches.
Right.
Whenever I see shit like that, it just smacks of Vince Russo, and I don't want to be traumatized.
They like try to put heat on it. They're like, Rhea's like, oh yeah, by the way, Dom is claustrophobic. He doesn't like being in tight spaces.
Okay, claustrophobia, first of all, is enclosed spaces. Like that's like
he can still move, hang his arm out.
Yes,
if you had,
really get out.
If you had a fear of heights, that'd be better.
Sure, that's one thing. But claustrophobia, like no, it's not enclosed. He could spit on you if he wanted to. Like he could breathe freely.
Very easily escape this crappy jail cell.
Right. So something else for Liv to do. Liv will go now, I guess, and deal with Nia, and Rhea and Raquel have a little feud, I guess. But
I mean, I like everyone involved in this match. I just didn't like the match.
Right.
I didn't like it.
I really don't like Raquel Rodriguez.
No, she's fine.
I feel like her acting's bad as well.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like y'all feel that way too? Like I feel like when she came back, she was kind of like she didn't know whether to like swell up and be a badass or kind of look concerned for Liv. It was like she had a hard time like she didn't know. Like I feel like she misses that a lot. Like, I'm glad y'all said that because I've always thought that too. Like, they try to market her, they always make her come out and like, she's got these big broad squared shoulders.
Yeah.
Choke slams and, I mean, as like a big, like an Amazonian type woman, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think her just acting's kind of bad. She needs to, get some mic work done. But anyway, all right, let's move to the main event, ladies and gents.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
5-matcher here is what they've been doing with these small ones. Yeah.
Well, when the opener is 47 minutes long.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So they had to play that in. So, Cody and Roman as a team versus Solo and Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Like I said, Cody's hometown. Roman, to talk about another man, Roman's looking like a fucking sculptured god right now. Like he's whatever he's
Poseidon. That's what Roman.
Right.
He is.
Yeah. But he's looking really good and amazing. And so Solo and Fatu basically control, most of the match, as I kind of thought would happen. And then, the bloodline shows up. Roman gets the win after a spear on Solo when Jimmy Uso returns to help to take on the bloodline. And once, that all pans out and shakes out, we think we're going home with, Roman and Cody on top, and The Rock returns and comes out with his fucking belt again. And
Solo and Sikoa.
So people go nuts. Nothing is said, but he just kind of comes out and basically says he's back, and that's how we go home with Bad Blood. Is I'll let you guys go first. Michael, what'd you think about the match, and then morphing into here we go, more bloodline storyline.
Well, how did you know what I was going to say? But
right.
I agree. Roman looks like $1 million. That's without saying, no argument there. I hated this match. And here's why. The way this match is laid out, I'm going to ask you both, who are the good guys in the match?
Cody Rhodes.
It's Cody Roman, yeah. And
what are their credentials?
Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes.
World champion and former world champion.
The undefeatable world champion, except by Cody Rhodes.
Right.
Why in God's name are they selling for Solo Sikoa and Jacob
Sikoa?
Yeah, I'm saying it. I don't care.
I feel you.
But seriously, think about this. Cody Rhodes is your current top guy. Roman Reigns was the undefeated champion for 3 fucking years.
Right.
Why the fuck are they selling for anybody as a team?
Why are they selling for Timu Bloodline?
And that's the other thing too. Roman was in charge of these guys, and they didn't cross Roman because Roman would fucking bury them. Right. But now he's teamed up with the world champion. Oh, now he's easy pickings.
That's true, man. Yeah.
And so it was so dumb. And this is one thing that's really interesting about wrestling. To all you new wrestling fans, when wrestling is good, it's so good. But when it does shit like this, you cannot look past it. You're just like, it's Roman Reigns. He's been pinned twice in his entire career. And again, Solo being on a team is fucking stupid because his name is Solo. And I fucking hate it. I hate it. He shouldn't be in a faction. He shouldn't be in a team. Fuck it.
So is Baron Corbin and Cody the only two to pin Roman ever?
Yeah, those two.
Is that where we're going with?
And then Jimmy Uso, way back in the day.
Right, yeah.
But also think about this. Jimmy Uso then had to even the scale against the unstoppable force of Solo and Jacob. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns couldn't do it by themselves.
Right.
It's... Remember when Roman Reigns beat Edge and Daniel Bryan at the same time and stacked them up?
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that he's paired up with the world champion, he can't take on 2 far inferior talents.
Right.
It's so fucking dumb. I hated this match.
So we're supposed to think that The Rock is the guy that Jimmy was talking about, right? Is the third guy. I thought this is how they were going to bring in Hakaleo as like a little ace in the hole or something, because they got to do something with him eventually.
Yeah.
But this makes me lean in. But it's like we don't know yet. It's like, who is he with? We don't know yet. I guess I don't know.
But whose side is he on?
They're the NWO at this point. They refuse to fucking die. They refuse to go away, and it's running after running after running. It's seriously. You're talking about Vince Russo earlier, AJ. There you go. It's NWO all
Right.
over again, or
Yeah,
Aces and Eights if you want to be more low budget about
Funny.
it.
Yeah. And when I saw Rock, the only thing I thought was, I was like, okay, Rock's back. Here we go. Longer bloodline story, more additive to you, like it's never going to end. Like, can we have a bloodline goes home match?
They all go to the same house at the end anyway because they're all related.
Yeah, can we have one?
Bunk beds.
Yeah, can we have one of those, man? Vegas is perfect place for it.
It's like how like in the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, where the Seven Dwarfs just have one tall bunk bed. It's like that.
Right.
Except Solo, oddly enough, is not the only one who sleeps by himself. Has to constantly be paired.
Yeah. All right, boys. Let's smelly mark this thing. Put a bow on it, man. Michael, what'd you think of Bad Blood? WWE Bad Blood.
Overall, pretty good. I love Rhea Ripley. I'll take all the Rhea Ripley I can get. CM Punk, McIntyre, great match. I don't care at all about Nia Jax. I want her to go away. Bill Goldberg, stop. And then the match that I just ranted about for 5 minutes. So I have to say the Punk match was so good, I'll give it an extra point and put it at a 6 out of 10 marks.
Hey, Jay.
So I can't take the first match and the rest of the pay-per-view and kind of meld them together. I'm going to try. The main event, I love this iteration of Roman Reigns. It's fucking. I love this better than world-beating heel bastard Roman Reigns. Like tweener, like just awesome badass guy. My favorite so far. I hope they just run this forever. I am over the bloodline, so fuck off.
Yeah.
But then the first match is again my favorite match of the entire year.
Right.
It's a tough one,
so
right?
We're gonna go 9 for the opener. The rest of the pay-per-view will go 4.
Right.
So 6.5, I guess, if we're gonna do the aggregate.
Okay. Yeah. So let me say this about Roman. I'm still watching now, right? Although The Rock, to me means prolonged bloodline. You know what I mean? But here's how I'll stay in. As long as Roman stays face, because I don't feel like this story ends with Roman going out as a bad guy. You know what I mean? I feel like this story ends with Roman as a face, right? To finish this 9 innings, whatever the hell, that they've talked about, however they want to finish this thing out, right? If Roman turns back heel again, you know what I mean? At some point in the next year or so, yeah, I'm probably out, man, because I feel like them were even farther from getting to the end of it. You know what I mean? So however, they want to, do to it. But like I said, I'm in because, we've only seen face Roman a few times, now, and, we'll see more of that. And I want to get away from this teaming up with Cody shit and, and kind of let him, deal with his own family stuff and just get to looking like where there's some kind of closure, you know what I mean? And with the biggest show of the year coming up, it's going to be here, and it, it's like that would be the ultimate place to blow it off. But I just don't think I think they're looking farther past that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It seems too soon at this point. Unless, but anyway, so getting back to it, I'm right there with you, man. God, I love that Hell in a Cell match so much that I went back and watched it again today just to kind of relive it. And
same.
It was good shit, man. It was good shit. It was awesome, man. 2 fucking professionals fucking pulling off a sick match like that. And would you, if you guys ever watched the Hell in a Cell match and let's say none of the 2 guys ever bled, would that seem a little weird in a Hell in a Cell match?
Yeah.
If none of them bled, you know what I mean? So you just got to always, expect that, you know what I mean? So, I kind of like that about it. And I've, thank God there's matches like this because I feel like feuds like this, where guys, this is a good way to blow it off. But, wrestling's never really done. It's probably just done for now. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna stick it like a 7, but we go to Crown Jewel, I think is next one, and then after that is Survivor Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
a little war game action going on.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Bloodline's going to be in the Survivor Series.
Right. I was going to say main event, Bloodline versus who, so, but.
Looking for all the latest happenings in the world of sports and wrestling? Well, you're in luck because SportzWire Radio has you covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year. With great shows in the world of sports, such as the Pinstripe Chronicles, hosted by Uncle Tats, Donald Stewart, and Rob Barrows. New York Baseball Talk with Chris Bazaya and Rob Maraska. The Liftoff Jets, also hosted by Chris Bazaya and Sharman Phillip. Neil Villapiano and the Devil's State of Mind. Randy Dillon's Hockey Fan Chat. In the world of wrestling, SportzWire Radio has you covered with Squared Circle Radio, featuring Chris Belcher, Andy York, and Jared Justice. Those sit-down marks with DB, Primo, AJ, and Michael. A work in progress, featuring the Mayor of Canton, Piles, and Glenn Abbott. You can catch all of these great shows and more anytime, anywhere, and any place via the Listen Live button on SportsWireRadio.org, and you can also catch SportsWire Radio anytime on YouTube at SportsWire Radio 6579 to catch all the latest happenings in the world of wrestling. SportsWire Radio has you covered. It's all sports matters and all wrestling matters here on SportsWire Radio. I am your host, the owner of SportsWire Radio, the #1 global radio station, the owner of the Promo Wrestling Federation, and one of the owners of the Pride Wrestling Federation. Your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters, the Reverend Tom Bryce.
All right, so let's move on, boys. AEW Wrestledream coming up. It was back on October the 12th, back in Tacoma, Washington, the old Tacoma Dome. It gave me 1999 Spring Stampede vibes, because that was the building that
you went way back for that.
That went down, man. Yeah. This is where Booker and Bagwell wrestled, and it was supposed, when they were taking over and all that kind of crap, but. Yeah, so it's kind of cool that they were back in this building. So this to show how these companies are widely different. Which I mean, Wrestledream, it's I don't think it's one of their bigger pay-per-views. It's kind of a B pay-per-view for them. I know it was originally intended to be to honor Antonio Inoki, because I think that was like his the. Something about the dream. He said something, was why they call it Wrestledream. Something like he said a long time ago, or something like that. So, not 9 matches is what I'm getting to versus 5. So we'll be blowing through these a little bit quicker. Reported attendance, although that place is not very big. It's been up for a pretty long time. I've actually drove by it before, and was like, holy shit, that was our Spring Stampede 1999. But 8,100 people, I think, is about what they had for that night. So, all right, so let's get through this, man. Let's kick it off. Jay White versus Adam Page. This was a great opener to me. Probably my favorite match actually on the card. Page basically just beats shit out of Jay White, and then Jay ends up winning. I think he does like a counter Blade Runner off of the buckshot lariat. But this was a good. I thought this was a good, hot opener. Kind of got pretty stiff. Michael, you any more on Adam Page's? Any of his shit yet?
No. No. Like,
okay.
And I'm going to give him the most damning indictment of all of wrestling. You ready for it?
Mm-hmm.
Adam Page, you are boring.
I can see that. I can see that. I feel like I'm tied to him because the Carolinas and seeing him, you know what I mean? So that's another reason. But I could totally see that.
Jay White's good. I like Jay White.
Yeah.
It's just Adam Page is boring.
Can't argue.
There you go. No mean words, no swearing.
Sure.
Just a statement of fact.
Yeah. Hey Jay, did you check out this opener?
So, Adam Page, not to be the HBs here, but Adam Page, you're boring. I've never been on board with Adam Page. Like I don't care. And it's not that he's bad, because he's not. He's a great worker, and like
right. I mean,
Jay White is fucking awesome.
Right.
He's
I mean,
fantastic.
he was world champion, right? But like outside of that, his like alcoholic role in AEW is probably his biggest thing so far.
Yeah, and that's
and
tragic.
And it morphed into like a drinking cowboy gimmick, and and then now it's just the cowboy gimmick. So
then
I remember
drinking
Beer
blood
Money
and
right.
Let's never forget. Yeah, he drank another man's blood, and even then, he managed to be boring.
Yeah, I guess I got to put that Swerve feud in there. It's, a big deal for him, but
he's drinking human blood, and you're checking your watch. Okay, let's get this show on the road.
All right,
I wonder what Swerve's going to get out of this.
Oh God!
Second match was AEW Women's Title. Didn't have too much on this one. Mariah May retained the title versus Willow Nightingale. Third match, though, a little bit happened here. Jack Perry versus Shibata for the TNT Championship. Perry won by countering a submission, but there was a lot of things going on because we had an MJF return after Daniel Garcia returned as well. Perry hit Garcia with the title, and the MJF jumped on Garcia. And then we had an Adam Cole return. So it was a lot of shit happened during this match. So this was, I felt like a Jack Perry match was probably the best time to do this. You know what I mean? Like no ships on Shibata, but this was probably a good time to do all these returns.
Because they're like, oh shit, Jack Perry has a match. Just throw everything in.
Well, I'm looking right, and I'm like Jack Perry versus Shibata. What are we gonna do here, right? Like,
oh, we already got our fifth ring match scheduled. Oh, what are we doing, Jack Perry?
Like,
all the returns. All the returns go in this match.
How can you get rid of one of the worst gimmicks ever in Jungle Boy and still be worse off? Like, the character of Jack Perry is so stupid. But Adam Cole, fucking awesome.
Baby.
Daniel Garcia, fucking awesome. MJF, let me see if you guys agree with me, has lost his luster for me. I'm just like, yeah, MJF, sure. He lost that shine that he had. Like, I'm just like, sure, I don't care.
Honestly, and this is just my take on this, but when I was watching like old MJF back when he was like, rising up and at the height versus what he like was later with Adam Cole, to me it just looked like he just did not give a fuck anymore. Like he was just so burnt out and just didn't fucking care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And honestly, yeah, MJF and that Adam Cole angle, that annoyed the living shit out of me. So I agree with you is what I'm saying.
But I love Adam Cole so much that let him do all the things and he'll make anything good. Like even a boring or even a MJF that is not quite as exciting as he used to be.
Fourth match was Will Ospreay versus Ricochet versus Takeshita for the AEW International title. Now, Takeshita ended up winning the title, which I like this, and this match was pretty awesome. The big story was Kyle Fletcher turning on Ospreay. Probably the match of the card. If I say, hey, go watch one match. If you got to watch one match on this card, I'd probably say go watch that one. If you didn't know, or, Brian Mox, but I thought this was good stuff. Definitely a solid match. I think Takeshita looks like he's going to get a little push here for a while, so I'm all right with that. So next match was Hologram versus Beast Mortis. 2 out of 3 falls. Hologram wins. I didn't know much about this, like story wise, or if there was one. This was I know they were trying to I know poor Excalibur does his best, right? Like to get you interested in it, but man, I don't know, but man, like did they must have phoned in and said, hey, tell these guys to go like for a while because they went way too long. Maybe I just know too much about space and shows, but man, like they must have had. I mean, Darby and Brody King was up next, so I don't know. Maybe Darby was late getting there or something. But I mean, I was just like, man, why are these guys going this long? Like of all these matches, like this one shouldn't be going this long, right?
What was bell to bell on this one?
I didn't, but I mean, and maybe it was just me watching it, but I don't know exactly, but It seemed like a while. I probably should look it up. But.
Okay.
I think it was like there was a lot of time fillery kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it seemed like they talked and stuff, but so that didn't really do a whole lot for me. But Darby and Brody King was next. I expected, let's see how Darby's going to, try to kill himself this time.
Yeah,
he won by here. He won by here we go. We were talking about this finishers, 2 coffin drops. Not 1, Brody's a big guy, so we got to give him 2, I guess.
You got to get an extra one in there.
I mean, Darby weighs $140, so
right, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. His back's just falling on him, but I mean, wasn't a whole lot to that. You guys got anything on those?
I will never be able to take Hologram seriously because he is pro wrestling for the original Nintendo. He's like Starman. He's Starman.
Yes.
Like he's generic masked wrestler.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God damn.
I will never care.
I
Just will
didn't
never
want to
care.
say it because I felt I was going to expend all my negative AEW points later when we're talking about the rest of the pay-per-view.
Right.
But thank Christ you said that because it is so true. Generic Starman wrestler from pro wrestling.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. All right, so moving on from that, Young Bucks versus Private Party. There was a little bit of, I think a lot of people got on Private Party's side here thinking they were going to win the titles here. Buck said, nope, it's not going to work for me, brother.
Wait, who the fuck thought the Bucks were going to drop the belts?
Me too, man. Everybody, I don't know, man. I think there was like a little grassroots effort that day. Like I was reading a lot of stuff leading up to it. And,
people were going door to door and be sign this petition to make the Bucks drop the title.
They will be buried with those fucking belts. Like, they're never going to give them up. Like, who's going to, especially the Private Party? Fuck off. Like, if you honestly thought that, you are a fucking mark. Like, that is
for real. Yeah. So, obviously, Bucks win by TK Driver. Next match was right for the main event, Mark Briscoe and Jericho. This was for the ROH title. They've been kind of going back and forth a little bit. Briscoe wins by Jay Driller. There was some, I think it was, he brought up his brother a few times, I think, in this like little feud here, Let me ask you guys a question on that, just like really quick on it. Like, give me, like bringing up like your dead brother, or like somebody bringing up Owen on Brett during a feud. Like, does that like make you? Does that give them more heat, you think, or is it just kind of like we shouldn't go there?
It goes nuclear heat. Remember when Paige did it to Charlotte?
That's what I was thinking too. And I get that they have to, like, they obviously talk about it beforehand and they get approval, but don't. Like, it will never garner the right kind of heat. It'll be like oh fuck you, I don't even want to watch you anymore kind of heat.
I feel like a guy like Christian would do it right now.
It sours wrestling for, like, because you don't want to be put in that kind of like headspace when you're trying to enjoy yourself with Starman and fucking, like
Mortis.
Yeah, no, like just,
Beast Mortis.
Right.
Just stop.
Beast Mortis, yeah. Mortis was Canyon.
So no, I don't like it when they bring up stuff like that.
That's too fucking far.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's always
especially
weird too.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think it's a bad fucking idea. But of course, Jericho's going to do it. So whatever.
And then, honestly, in the wrestling fan of me goes, "Oh man, they agreed to let him say that too." Like, come on, like, like, nah, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm like, God, they agreed to that? Like, shit. Yeah,
just stop.
So,
like, there's like. Jericho, you're a creative enough guy. You can come up with better ways. Hey, I'm going to talk about your dead brother.
Dude, he's lost so many steps in the last 5 years. Like, Jericho is not the Jericho that we grew up loving and idolizing. He ain't the same guy anymore.
He ain't the Ayatollah of rock and roll.
No,
I mean, not the one I know.
No, he's not even list Jericho anymore. Like, he is so far gone at this point.
Why are you saying he's not even? Like, that was the nadir of Chris Jericho? How dare you?
All right, boys, let's talk about the
joke
main
today.
event here for this
Yeah, it's pretty
AEW
good.
Wrestle Dream. So, Bryan Danielson versus Moxley for the AEW title. Before I talk about the match, I'm loving Marina and Shafir and Mox together. I think this is kind of making it all work. Now this match was a straight beat down, and it's kind of seemed like it was like ordered that way. And I totally understand it. And Bryan got his ass beat. I thought it was a little bit of a anticlimactic ending. You know what I mean? I don't know how I would have wanted it to end in, but Moxley wins the title by a pile driver and then a choke out. But it was kind of what happened after that. Yuta and Darby come in to make the save against what we think, against Moxley, and I think it was Claudio. He hit Bryan with a chair on his neck, whatever. But Yuta comes in. You think Yuta's coming in to finally save Bryan because they've been showing him the last time when Moxley choked Bryan out with the bag, Yuta was trying to get to him to stop it, and who was it that was holding him? Pac was like holding him back. So you think this time there's nobody holding him back. You think that Yuta's gonna to go and help Bryan, but no. He grabs the bag and goes and starts choking or suffocating, I guess we should say, attempting to. With Bryan, and so here we are again with this thing. So we got a new champ. Moxley is again. Is this third time?
Third time he was the interim. Yeah, I think it's 4.
So it's back on him. And so we know that Bryan's on this sort of end of his career kind of wrestling kind of things, wrestling a little bucket list, I guess, if you will. He's kind of going through that, we know, and now he's finally lost the title. So what'd you guys think of this match, and where does Bryan go from here?
Go ahead, AJ.
So first of all, I want to say that Wheeler Yuta for the past several years, well, not years, like in the last year and a half, has been one of my favorite performers. I love Wheeler Yuta. I fucking love him. I have the same amount of love for Wheeler Yuta as I did for Bo Dallas, and he is my fucking boy. I love Wheeler Yuta.
You have a thing for mat technicians too.
The Bret
Harts,
really do.
The Daniel Macabes.
I do.
Yeah.
The Daniel Bryans.
I'm
sorry, Bryan Danielson's. But I mean, this match wasn't a match. It was an angle to convincingly get the belt off of Bryan Danielson so he can go to Japan or, go do other non-AEW champion related things. And I'm 100% okay with that. So as a match, fuck this match. It wasn't a match. It was in the middle of the road at best. As a vehicle to get Bryan Danielson to his next, whatever the fuck he wants to do. Awesome. Yeah. I'm on board.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson's contract ran out in August. So he's been there without a contract for 2 months. They had to get the belt off of him. That's all there was to it. Dropping it back to Moxley, I fucking loathe that decision. Marina Shafir, I think, is absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my God, she is so bad. What pay-per-view are you watching where this is blatantly obvious? Let's never forget that she's the problem, AJ.
Right. I like her as Mox's henchwoman, though. It's kind of fun. Why
does Moxley need to constantly surround himself with other people?
Right.
Why?
I don't know.
If he's supposed to be badass, I'm gonna cut you, then I'll cut myself.
Right.
Then I'll stab you, and then I'll stab me, then I'll eat my own arms.
Yeah.
It's oh my God, this fucking
one stab
guy.
for you, one stab for me.
Seriously, this fucking guy, I cannot get away from John goddamn Moxley.
Yeah.
And that's not even I had such high hopes for Mr. Good. But fuck me, is he just the same one-trick pony over and over anymore? It's lazy. It's boring. It's lazy. Yeah. Every time you see him, you're just like, all right, count down to when blood is everywhere. And I don't.
Go ahead.
I didn't just like the Marina Shafir thing. Like, I fucking hate Marina Shafir. She is so bad at everything in professional wrestling.
I will say that I see what you're saying, but I wouldn't call it laziness. I would say that he is complacent. It's complacency. Moxley is just like, here's what I do, and I do what I do well, so I'm going to keep doing what I do.
He's seen it for them right now, isn't he?
Yeah, basically. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's better or worse.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's worse.
Can we put in that no matter what the cause, we can both agree he is not putting in fucking effort at this point?
No.
Right.
No. He's
All right. I'll take that.
All right, let's wrap up AEW Wrestledream, man. It's a smelly market, boys. 9 matches, long one on this one, man. So,
it was more than 9, wasn't it?
Was it 9? I had
9. It felt like 12 or 13.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the kickoff. Does that count? The Mansoir and
0 Hour. No, I didn't cover any of that stuff.
I love those two so much, though. They're the greatest thing.
They are. I've been enjoying some of their stuff on Dynamite and Rampage.
You didn't talk about Brian Cage versus Atlantis Jr. That's the one you didn't talk about. Or Harley Cameron and Anna Jay.
Yeah.
Who?
Fair enough.
Smelly market, boys. I love some of these matches and didn't care for some too much, so I'm going to stick it about a 7 for this one because the 2 that I did really like, I really liked.
Same, actually. Like, the 2 that I liked were... Well, again, I did like the main event, even though it wasn't really a match. I'm going to give it a 6. Like, it wasn't as good as Bad Blood, but that's not saying much.
I am going to dock this pay-per-view points for AEW's mark-ass fans thinking the Young Bucks were actually going to drop the titles. You get 4 out of 10. No. Congratulations, AEW Marks. You've tanked your rating.
Right. All right, boys. Let's a couple of notes, then we're going to get out of here. I want to say, first of all, the PWI 500 just came out a couple weeks ago, or probably more like a month now, and 5 of those 500 were previously guests of our podcast. So just want to say congratulations to Solomon Tupu, Mike Hartenbauer, Bill Starks, Gary J., and good old Big Beef. So congratulations, guys, on making the top 500. Hope you guys all move up next year. I want to take time to plug a few shows. First of all, Iron Spirit Pro, November 2nd. Is their next show coming up in Normal, Illinois. If you hadn't had a chance to check it out, just did a podcast with Sean Galway, just updating him on his injury. So go back and check that one out. Also, go check out Dreamwave Trick or Treat. It was a show just this past Saturday night in LaSalle, Illinois for Dreamwave. One of the best Dreamwave shows I've ever seen. I mean, it's up there with in the top tier shows that I've seen. Man, it was really awesome. Megan Bain and Maggie Lee just tore it up in the main event. So go check it out on IWTV. And I believe tickets are still available right now for Good as Gold, which is on December 6th and 7th. Uprising 4 on December 6th. And Good as Gold, December 7th. And if you don't know, that is Dreamwave's Royal Rumble, if you will. So it was going to be a fun night, always fun. We are going to be sponsoring a Zawa Live show coming up in Nelson, Illinois on November 16th. So we'll be talking about that coming up here pretty soon. We are giving away to the first 100 people through the door that night a free gift bag courtesy of the Sit Down Marks podcast. So if you're in the area, it's called Zawa Fest 5. So come check it out. Steel cage match on the card, and it's going to be a fun one. So come check us out. But the next guest are going to be on the pod. I'm going to be sitting down with, from Zawa Live, a guy that me and AJ is very familiar with. Going to be sitting down talking to Bayou Bill. He's coming on to talk about what it's like rolling around with alligators in the swamps of Louisiana. So we're going to be talking to him and seeing what life's all about, as he will be in the Fireweight Championship match on November 16th for Zao Live. So that's going to be a fun one. But I believe next show we're going to be coming together. Hopefully, will be Crown Jewel, so we'll all be together reviewing that one. So it was good to see you, boys. Glad to have the Harris brothers all back intact, and at least 3 or 4 of us, made it tonight. So
yeah, fuck you, Primo. You dick.
Yeah, dick.
God, you finally get the old HBs, and there's no Primo.
Right? Yep. And he ducks out on us. So, well, I guess he figured if you guys are here, then I didn't need him. So, but that's not true.
He is an integral part to life.
I need someone to bounce my CM Punk love off of, and he's the one to do it. So.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, and distribute the Bret Hart hate to counteract AJ's Bret Hart love.
I'm still not okay with that. We had a text chain going. Still no, Primo, you are incorrect. He is the look at him go. Wait, which way am I? There we go.
There it is. There it is.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys in just a couple weeks. I'll be sitting down with Bayou Bill, and then we'll be back after that to talk about Crown Jewel. For the HB boys,
You're
AJ and
man.
Michael, I am the Dirty Bird. Thank you guys for tuning in. Top guys.
Hello, masses.
This is where you say bye, masses.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Hello, masses.
Oh, you want to talk to them now?
You
want to address your people? Please.
Good
Don't
evening.
let me in any way.
How's things?
I don't think it's going to bring him back, AJ.
Hi, hello. Yanda.
Hello.
Hello, man.
Signing off for the HB boys here. Y'all groovy cats have a good night out in the wrestling land.
That's right. Top guys out.